name is Jeanne Westhoff Kelly Berg. I was born in Whittier, and my parents moved from Whittier itself to East Whittier when I was about 3-4 years old, and then when I was 7, we moved to Walnut. My father, Leonard Westhoff, was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. I think he always had an idea that he would like to have a little farm or a little ranch, and this property in Walnut offered an opportunity.
Mom and Aunt Gert had 3 kids at the same time. So my brother had his cousin Tinny, and my sister had her cousin Randy, although they were a year or 2 off. I had my cousin Denny, and we were only 6 weeks apart. So we were really bosom pals. We had my sister and I and brother to a lesser extent. My brother was 8 years older, so he just was older, you know. So we had so many things available to us because we had the whole outside world besides the inside. And I had my cousin to play with, and he was just down one pasture, up another pasture, and there he was.
There was nothing here to do in Walnut, actually. So as kids, we played outside all the time. I grew up with horses. We learned how to ride horses probably from the time that I was 4 years old. And we played outside. At night we play with our cousins who were our closest neighbors, and we would play tag out in the orange groves, or we'd play hide and go seek out in the fields. I mean, it was just, we made our own fun. We didn't have a lot of toys, but we certainly had a lot of fun. My cousin Randy and I used to, during time when they would cut the oat hay and bale it and everything, we would rearrange all the stacks, the bales of hay, make a fort or something. Or, we got big trouble one time when the threshers came and they had all the straw piled up in big piles, and we absolutely destroyed the big piles of hay, and then we had to get out there and put it back together, But we just, we just had such a good time. It was just playing outside all the time. But when I graduated from 8th grade, there were 8 in my class. So you could tell that there were very few families in Walnut. And the city really grew in the 60s. But, growing up here in Walnut, my best friends were my cousins who lived on the next hill over, and we'd climb through fences and everything to get over to their house, and they would do the same with us.
We didn't have neighbors close. That was the problem. In order to play with somebody, Mom had to drive us there, or somebody else had to drive over to our place. So the reason that we played with our cousins so much is because they were near. We had 13 plus acres, and they had probably about the same amount, and a couple of pastures in between, so it was easy to play with them.
During World War II, and everybody was trying to conserve gasoline and everything, we had to walk quite a ways through the fields to get to the bus stop. And I remember several times I tore my dress on the way to school because I'd get it caught on when I was climbing through the barbed wire fence or climbing under or over another fence. So, it's just, kids today can't imagine things like that happening a little bit.
But my sister and I also played. We also played, and we played. One thing that I can remember was the paper dolls. How my mom would sometime when she'd be in Pomona, which is the town that we went to do our shopping, and the town where we had our music lessons, she would get a pattern book and put her name on it, so that when the season got over, like maybe it was this pattern book for, like a McCall's book for spring. So when fall came, she would get to have that spring book, and she'd bring it home. And my sister and I would go through that book, and first of all we would find the page of patterns where it showed women's slips. So it was, of course, it wasn't just a slip, it was the head and the whole body. And we pick out 2 or 3 of those each, and then we put those on cardboard, paste them on cardboard, and then cut around so that would be a nice thick. That was the paper doll. I know kids don't play paper dolls anymore, but it was a big thing in our lives. And then we go all through that pattern book, picking out dresses and skirts and pants, but mostly dresses because women didn't wear pants very much. Women, haha, girls. We just didn't wear pants except around home to play. We never wore pants to school at Walnut School except on Thursdays. And Thursday was game day when we played other schools. And so we got to wear pants to school on Thursday. Even in high school, we didn't wear pants. We wore dresses and skirts. And you look at a lot of old time photos from a lot older than even I am. And the women are in dresses. Even the pioneer women, they're in dresses.
But outside, yes, we had to help with feeding the chickens and gathering the eggs and cleaning the corral and, feeding the animals. And during World War II, my father had to work at night. And so my brother was in the Merchant Marine, so my sister and I had to take on the milking responsibility, and I think Dad would do the milking in the morning, but my sister and I would milk the cow at night, and we would take turns holding the cow's tail so it wouldn't switch us in the face while we were milking. And occasionally a cat would run through the milking stall and kick the bucket over. And
no, milk is not my favorite topic. Milk is I could gag just thinking about milk. I don't think that my dislike of milk had anything to do with milking a cow, but I did milk a cow quite a bit. I milked the cow. In the war, again, when I'm taking war, that's World War II, my dad had to work 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks out of every 8 weeks at night. So he did the morning milking, but then I or Mom or my sister did the evening milking, and I think that I did more of the evening milking, whereas my sister took care more of the inside things of all the numerous things that had to go on, which I never did the inside stuff. She did a lot of that, of straining the milk and skimming it the next morning, because of course the milk had to sit in a big crock overnight so the cream would come to the top and then it would be skimmed off.
But it's so much fun to remember those things and talk about them to my friends who are strictly city people, and they can't imagine that I would know how to milk a cow or ride a horse or anything like that. But that's just the way that we grew up, and it was fun. Maybe at the time we didn't think it was so much fun, but looking back on it now, oh my gosh, that was the best childhood I could ask for.
I consider that I had the best childhood imaginable, that nobody could have had a better childhood than I did. So, do we sound alike? I don't. When I talk and I hear her talk, I don't think that we sound alike. But maybe we do. But I know that your manner of speaking is different. My manner is more animated. And
you don't say. Is that on film? Oh gosh.
Where do you think?
Do I do that?
Well, in my modest opinion, yes.
I talk with my hands?
Oh my gosh, Marilyn. You talk more with your hands than you do with your mouth.
Oh, that's a lot then. Because my mouth speaketh.
My mouth speaketh.